It was a quiet night at the sheds. Joyce was the last engine to return. She had been working at the factory all day and was looking forward for a good long sleep. As she arrived very late, everyone was already asleep, including the new arrivals Richard and Roger, who were staying for the night. She was about to close her eyes when she could hear a strange noise. She assumed it was Henry pulling the flying kipper at night, as Henry would always do that. But it wasn't Henry. Instead, an unknown shape peered out of the darkness and puffed down the pedagogic line. Joyce was puzzled, but she was so sleepy that she immediately went to sleep. Joyce woke up the next morning to find the engines all ready set off to do their jobs. Joyce was still wondering what was the mysterious shape that she saw last night. Just then, the manager roared in his new car. That surprised Joyce. Sorry about that, said the manager. I got a new one, and the horns doesn't seem like it was working well. That's fine, sir. Now, I'm off to my job, sir. She's in a hurry, said Richard. Must be eager to get back to work, said Roger. But Jones disagreed and followed Joyce to the station. When Jones came to collect his goods train, he was surprised that Joyce wasn't around. He began to worry. When he returned to the sheds later in the evening, he found Joyce there, sitting very quietly. Are you all right? Said Jones. Joyce looked at Jones. Well, not really. Last night I saw an unfamiliar shape in the dark. I can't really tell what it was, but it's a very odd shape. Very strange, said Jones. Richard and Roger heard everything, and Roger came up with a crazy story. That, he said, is the Phantom of the Rails. The Phantom of what? Said Richard. He was quite surprised by Roger's response. The Phantom of the Rails. It's an engine that goes out at night, and then he even frightens engines, and also do something really devil. Jones and Joyce looked at Roger. They don't really believe in him, but deep down in the smoke box, they were worried. Richard was completely scared. Roger enjoyed it, and he began to tell stories about the Phantom of the Rails' life on the pedagogic branch line. Joyce and Jones do not really believe him. It's because this doesn't even make any sense. Their predecessors never told them the story about it. Late that night, Jones and Joyce stayed up all night, trying to look out what was the shape in the darkness. They could see the shape, but they can't really tell. They stayed up so late that they began to feel sleepy. I think we should go to sleep. Fine. I can't really keep my eyes open. And then just like a few seconds later, they both closed their eyes and went to sleep immediately. The next morning, Jones and Joyce decided to speak to the manager about what they saw last night. Last night? I think I know what you mean. Is that really a secret, sir? Yes, it is a secret, but you have to wait and see. Okay, sir, said the two engines. Afterwards, Joan and Joyce decided to tell the other engines about what they saw last night. The engines were quite curious about it. They all had the same question. Who was that engine? Roger tells them that it was the Phantom of the Rails, but they all do not believe him. That is completely rubbish, said Lewis. Yeah, there's no such thing as it, said Fleur. Well, I'm not gonna stand your teasing around here, Roger, said Jones. Joyce and I are getting to the bottom of this. Later in the afternoon, Jones was taking a passenger train and was about to do the return run. Joyce was resting, dropping off some empty trucks. Joyce, aren't you going to take these trucks over to the factory? No, not exactly. I got to take an extra last-minute goods. I had to go back down there. That means I won't be able to drop it off on the return run. Oh, dear. We kind of use of another engine. Yeah, same here. Joyce looked at the empty trucks in the siding. Then she noticed an unfamiliar engine backing down onto them and took it away. Jones and Joyce looked at each other. That shape, said Joyce, looks exactly the same one I saw. Same here, said Jones. I wondered if this actually is the surprise that the manager said. We guess we have to find out tonight, said Jones. Night came. The engines were all having a relaxing time at the sheds. Richard approached the shed berth. He was worried. Where is Roger? He asked. He should be coming along. Okay. Richard looked into the empty berth and saw the unknown shape inside. He panicked. It's the Phantom! He cried. Oh! Richard bumped into Roger. Both were very surprised. Out of the berth stood a very unusual engine, and there the manager inside the cab introduces her. This is Sarah, he said. She will be our newest engine to the branch line, handling our traffic work at the factory. This is our Phantom of the Rails, chuckled Joyce. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. Whoa, sir, said Ron. Where'd you find her? Well, I found her abandoned on a disused siding. I thought that she would be very useful if I could save her from being scrapped. Or rust, you might say, sir, said Dan. Yes, that's right, Dan. Well, no offense, said Roger. You look really odd. That's because she's an experimental engine, Roger, said the manager. Oh. And then, what should we actually say? We should actually say, said Joyce, welcome to the railway, Sarah. Sarah smiled. And the engines all have a good chat with the new engine, Sarah.